currently editor of Internship, and my colleagues from Center of Excellence and dear student participants, welcome to this orientation program on editing and publishing. I would first request to Rama madam, ask one of the girls please. Yeah. This is just a token of our appreciation for accepting our invitation and thus honoring us in a very special way. Just a little background to this program. Center of Excellence for Translation and Life Writing was established in 2020 under the aegis of OHEPE with an objective to promote literary and linguistic exchanges among contemporary Indian languages, specifically Odia, Hindi, Sanskrit and English. And the project, like the first phase of it, got over in 2024. And before the second phase starts, the government has asked us to keep things running. And to the sustainability grant that has been provided to us, we are conducting the internship program. At the same time, this is a very deja vu moment for me because in 2019, the Department of English had offered a certificate course in editing and publishing in which Jatin sir and Manas sir were part. We had started the program then also with a panel discussion. Today also we are starting the orientation program with a panel discussion. But this is like after a lectures of 6 years. We are offering this internship program to apprise the student participants of the rewarding and the dynamic career path for those who have passion for language, storytelling and content creation. With this, now I would request our research scholar to introduce our guest. Rafi, please.
Literary critic, editor and academic from Odisha. An alumnus of Oxford University UK, Professor Nayak has been instrumental in bringing Odia literature to a global audience through his translations. His notable translations include Yantra Rutha by Chandrasekhar Rath, rendered into English as Astride the Will, for which he received the 2004 Hutch Crossword Book Award for Indian Language Fiction translations. He also won the Katha Translation Award for his English rendering of Tarun Kanti Mishra's short stories, Abarah. Recently, he received the Kalinga Literary Award for his contributions to literature. Professor Nayak is the editor-in-chief of Mar Asia, a biannual literary journal, of the English Advisory Board of Sahitya Academy, New Delhi, and was a visiting professor at Ashoka University, New Delhi. Currently, he is Professor Emeritus at KIS University, Bhubaneswar, and a language expert for Odia at the New India Foundation, Bangalore. Welcome, sir. We also have with us Nihar Sarkali, who is a former senior official of a public sector bank in India and has also served in the editorial department of an English newspaper. He writes articles and stories for newspapers and journals, primarily on social and cultural issues. His first published book, a collection of short stories, appeared in his mother tongue Odia in the year 2005. His latest published book in English is The Puzzles of Life and How to Solve Them with Clues from Gita, which has also been translated into Hindi. He is currently the editor of Sahitya Charcha and Odia Literary Magazine. Welcome, sir. Now I request our research scholar of our department.
Thank you, Rafi. Our third panelist is Manas Ranjan Mohapatra. He began his career as a journalist and later transitioned into academia. A prolific editor, he has over 100 edited books to his credit. Most of his career was spent at the National Book Trust India and the Northeastern Council. as Director, Information, PR, Art and Culture. Manas Ranjan Mahapatra is one of the prominent editors of the country. He has 6 anthologies of poetry and 3 collections of stories in Odia and 2 memoirs in English, besides over 50 transcripts, including the book Log Bhool Gaye, an anthology of poetry by Raghuveer Sahai in Hindi, which got Sahitya Academy Award. He was He was Director, Information, PR and Culture of Northeastern Region and Director, Book Publishing Courses of National Book Trust, India. He also headed National Center for Children's Literature for 2 decades and was in the Board of Advisors of Asian Festival of Children's Contents, Singapore, one of the most prominent children's literature events of the world. He has 2 books for children's literature as well, in English as well as Hindi. We have with us Mr. Dipesh Satpathy. Dipesh Satpathy is a seasoned journalist who began his career as a reporter covering science, technology, and health beats for Press Trust of India. He later served as copy editor of Span magazine published by the US Embassy. In the 2000s, he transitioned to the public affairs section of the US Embassy, where he worked as a media specialist, analyzing geopolitical developments in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Maldives. Since 2016, he has been working as a freelance media consultant. As a freelancer, he has contributed to Indo-Asian News Service, United News of India, BBC Hindi Online, and Fiber to Fashion, apart from writing geopolitical analysis for consultancies and editing digital booklets on health issues. In addition to media consulting, he has authored several digital booklets focusing on public health issues. Mr. Satpathy's career reflects a commitment to nuanced reporting and regional affairs, making him a respected voice in South Asian media analysis. We welcome you, sir. Thank you so much. I will now request Professor Madhusmita Pati to kindly take on from here.
Start with Devi, sir. Sir, because this has to do with something you say I don't want to stop about that, but to counter. It has to do with counter. So as a publishing unit, how did you get associated with it, or you began with that idea? What was the source of inspiration behind the establishment of the counter?
English is becoming English is going increasingly weak. प्रथम कथा है जे 2005-6 भाविलु रूपांतर बोली गोटे प्रकाशन संस्था तैयारी कर तार कारण है जो सेवा आम जहाँ कहती रेजिस्ट्रेशन आगु 2001-2 समस्या कर कारण था आम भावुँ जो अनुवादर प्रकाशन जो संस्था सब अच्छा बालू बजार में प्रकाशक अच्छा विषय भुवनेश्वर किसी प्रकाशक आसगले अनुवाद साहित्यर प्रकाशन अनुवाद साहित्य अनुवाद कृति को प्रकाश करवा धीरे धीरे कष्टर विशेषकर ओडिया इंग्राजी अनुवाद कले छापा बहुत कष्ट इंग्राजी ओडिया अनुवाद गोटे क्षेत्र थी बालू बजार प्रकाशक हूँ भुवनेश्वर प्रकाशक हूँ से छापी दूसरे इंग्राजी ओडिया हिंदी ओडिया कि इंग्राजी ओडिया इंग्राजी जो अनुवाद हवा प्रक्रिया आरंभ होता विशेष प्रकाशक छात्र छात्री मान जो अनेक जानी थे जे बहुत कम ओडिया साहित्य कृति इंग्राजी को अनुदित है 2000 1986 बेलू जो बरजा प्रकाशित है ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्रेस विक्रम दास ता पूर्व 2-3 गोटे बही अनुदित हो इंग्राजी को प्रकाशित है भावी गोटे नमिनी छात्र गोटे बही ओरिएंट से ओरिएंट पेपर से गोटे बाहर करता आउ कहीं मन पड़े ओडिया साहित्य प्रति इंग्राजी को अनुदित हो ओडिशा बाहर बाहर बोल्टन जोटा छापी थे ओडिशा साहित्य एकाडेमी छापी ओडिशा बाहर कौन प्रकाशक ओडिशार जो हिंद पकेट बुक्स बाहर करते नंदिनी शताब्दी गोटे बही तार किसी गप तार टाइटल मन पड़े तेना ये परिस्थिति ओडिया साहित्य प्रति इंग्राजी अनुवाद कले ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्रेस कि मैकमिलन कि ओरिएंट लॉन्ग से बर्तमान ओरिएंट मैक्सवान एमती कौन प्रतिष्ठित प्रकाशन संस्था ताको प्रकाश करूना तेना भाविलु जे अपेक्षा कर बस हेनी 1986 गोटे गुरुत्वपूर्ण घटना घटला सेटा हूँ बरजा अनुवाद प्रकाश पाइला दुईटा प्रकाशक वेरी एस्टाब्लिश्ड very famous publishing concerns गोटे ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्रेस आउ गोटे फेवर जो इंग्रेजी साहित्य छात्र छात्री थे जानते फेवर हूँ गोटे अति स्वनामधन्य प्रकाशन संस्था इंग्लैंड जार डायरेक्टर थे टीएसए तेना फेवर हूँ जहाँ कहते मैंने अति प्रतिष्ठित अति ना कर गोटे प्रकाशन संस्था तेना प्रथम ओडिया मैंने डेरी में पहुँचले कि खूब भल भाव मैंने बहुत डेरी होगा से भावती 1960 संस्कार बेले गोटे उपन्यास ना शुणुवे युवानंद मूर्ति तार अनुवाद करते प्रख्यात कवि और अनुवादक ए रामानुजन यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ शिकागो किंतु एभली कृतविद्या अनुवादक एभली प्रतिष्ठित कवि यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ शिकागो अच्छा कि से ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्रेस मध्य पहुँच पारे तेणु ओडिया को पचे 26 वर्ष लगी जाऊ जो प्रथम बहीटी अनुदित है केवल ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्रेस में केवल भली अति ना करा प्रकाशन संस्था द्वारा तेना आउ गोटे खूब बड़ कथा मैं तो 1986 88 जो बाहरी यहाँ धरिया गोटे टर्निंग पॉइंट गोटे मोड़ कारण से दुईटी कथा ओडिया मैंने कर सारी सदा कही गोटे छोटिया जगह बहुत बड़ बड़ कथा नहीं सचेतन न बड़ बहुत छोट छोट जगह बहुत बड़ कथा जाए जो गोटे बहुत छोट जगह कटक से बहुत बड़ लोग बाहरी जाइए लोग बोधे कहीं ना जयंत महापात्र ना शुणित खूब बड़ कवि तीन कोणिया बगीचे था से विश्व प्रसिद्ध हो सी अनुवाद कर प्रथम नुआ जो अनुवाद कर बही कटक स्टोन स्टोर बाहरी फकीर मोहनकर कथा से बेसी बाट जापारना किंतु से पाई जो इंग्राजी साहित्य साहित्य एकाडेमी पुरस्कार घोषित है प्रथम पुरस्कार पाई जयंत महापात्र तेणु से गोटे खूब बड़ कथा से आरंभ है अन्य पाइले आगु बोले आर के नारायण एका पाइले कविता प्रथम पाइले रिलेशनशिप्स जयंत महापात्र खूब बड़ कथा सहल पड़गला प्रथम जो अनुवाद पुरस्कार घोषित है इंग्राजी साहित्य को इंग्राजी भाषा को अनुवाद भारतीय भाषा एगेन प्रथम पुरस्कार पाइले विक्रम दास पुणी गोटे बड़ कथा अति छोट जगह ओडिशा बैकवर्ड कि खूब बड़ कथा गोटे तेना आम भाविलु जे या पुणी कि बाहर बहुत कम कि समय पर कमला महापात्र बंधु से आरंभ कले धीरे धीरे मैकमिलन हार्पर कॉलेज रे फकीर मोहनकर किसी गप को बाहर कले इन सब बाहर अल्प गोटे 4-5 वर्ष गोटे हार्पर कॉलेज बुक ऑफ ओडिया शॉर्ट स्टोरीज बाहर मन कर 2003-4 आम एते अपेक्षा करनी तेना आम भाविलु आम गोटे रूपांतर गोटे रेजिस्टर संस्था करवा से 300 कॉपी गोटे गोटे बही 300 कॉपी आम अनुवाद इंग्राजी अनुवाद करवा चाहती ये लंकार हरिशब्द जे कॉपी एडिटिंग कौन आम जब कॉपी राइट मैंने राइट टू कॉपी तेणु कॉपी एडिट कौन कॉपी कॉपी मैंने मांकड़ बोली बहुत कॉपी एडिटर परंपरा नथी तेणु आम कहले आम टे चेष्टा करवा जे गोटे मानुस्क्रिप्ट देला आम कॉपी एडिट करवा जी पार आम तो निजे पारे आम जो मैंने इंग्राजी बहुत दक्ष लोक थे मन जितेन्द्र नारायण पट्टनायक आम सार इंग्राजी चमत्कार देखा आम बेले बेले अनुरोध करूँ मुझे जी पारे मुझे एमती कर धीरे धीरे 37टा बही बाहर करते मलाजह्न कथा पचार मानस बाबू मलाजह्न मने मने सुअ मुहरे पतर मानकर श्रीधर दास आत्मजीवनी मने मने हूँ वैष्णव चरण दास विवासिनी एमती जो ओडिया गप कि स्केचेस ऑफ ओडिशा जो गोटे बंगाली 1903 मसीह ओडिशा पर लिखित गोटे उपन्यास ताकू इंग्राजी कलु तेणु सबू कर कॉपी एडिट करूँ यथा संभव यथा समय इंग्राजी शुद्ध करने चेष्टा करूँ तापर छापू सेटा बिक्री हुए आम भाग्य भल से राजा राममोहन लाइब्रेरी फाउंडेशन गोटे संस्था अच्छी भारत में कलिकता हेड ऑफिस से आमठू 300 कॉपी बेले बेले 400 कॉपी किणी नौ तेणु से जो लाभ हुए आम आउ कि धीरे धीरे 2010-14 परठू आउ राजा राममोहन लाइब्रेरी आउ किणु तेणु आमर से रूपांतर धीरे धीरे 37 बही प्रकाश करने पर बंद हो गला कहानी।
थैंक यू सर। तो आम पब्लिशिंग यूनिट केमती स्टार्ट हुए कौन what goes behind it what is the narrative behind it से आम आपन चाहूँ आउ समस्त को पचारि just one liner question like please tell about a time or an incident which triggered you towards this or triggered your interest in publishing and editing.
ओडिया और इंग्राजी मिसेक कह मोर सौभाग्य उभय विषय एम ए पढ़ार सुजोग बोधे ओडिशा रे बहुत कम लोक अच्छा जो मैंने कि इंग्राजी और ओडिया उभय विषय एम ए पढ़ी मोर केमिति पब्लिशिंग इंटरेस्ट आसला मत 7 वर्ष बयस मो नन्ना मैं फादर पुरी जिले में आम ब्राह्मण मैंने बापा को नन्ना कहू नन्ना गोटे साप्ताहिक संवादपत्र जन्मत मु बड़ पिलादिन देखिली जे गोटे कौन पत्रिका घर गोटे कौन छपाई बाहर तादे नन्ना कौन नालिका भी करेक्शन कर मोर गोटे इंटरेस्ट है मुझे धीरे धीरे नन्ना नन्ना कौन कर जानापी मुझे कॉपी एडिट कर योग्य नी बुक पढ़ा भूल भूल सब खोजिली व्याकरण स्कूल में पढ़ा हुए से दिन ठूँ आज पर्यंत आ मोर जो बही विषय मोर जो बहीटी बाहर कर निहार से लिखी से कथा बौर गोटे थिला तार गोटे भंगा बाक्स थिला से बाक्सरे यही बहीटी निहार बाहर कर बहीटी ओडिशा रे बड़ ना कर बही विषय ओडिशार बही हाँ बही विषय बहीर संपादना विषय ओडिया भाषा ये प्रथम बही या पूर्व गोटे बही थिला अनुवाद भाषा विषय में प्रफुल्ल त्रिपाठी गोटे बही लिखी से केवल भाषा उपर गुरुत्व देते से भाषार दुख मुझे भाषा उपर आदौ गुरुत्व देनी संपादना केमती हम संपादना ओडिया प्रकाशन जययात्रा से विषय किसी लिखी से प्रकाश कर साहित्य चर्चा तेबे मोर जो ये जो आग्रह है बौर भंगा बाक्सरू सुशील मालती पढ़ा नन्ना पत्रिका जाना ये इंटरेस्ट रु आगे पढ़ी चलिया मुझे दिन खबर कागज में काम करी कटक गोटे इंग्राजी खबर कागज बाहर वे बैक इन 1981 इट्स नेम वाज न्यूज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड मु न्यूज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड रे गोटे समय न्यूज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड काम करी तार संपादना काम देखुली एवं कटक गोटे बाहर ओडिया भाषार प्रथम डाइजेस्ट आलोक तार गोटे संपादना करू करू मुझे गोटे पत्रिका छापा आरंभ कली कॉलेज बेले ता ना था बड़दान किसी वर्ष चलला जमती प्रोत्साहन किसी मिललानी किसी वर्ष चलला बंद हो तेबे मोर से आग्रह थी आग्रह भितर मुझे कम करुए संपादना काम विभिन्न समय पत्र पत्रिका करुए बही कम ବହି ସମ୍ପାଦନା को ପରେ ଆସିଛି 1990 ମସିହାରେ ମୁଁ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ୍ ବୁକ୍ ଟ୍ରଷ୍ଟରେ ଯୋଗ ଦେଇଛି ତାର ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାଷାର ସମ୍ପାଦକ ଭାବରେ। ତାପରେ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାଷାର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ବହି ଯେଉଁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଭାରତର ପ୍ରଥମ କପି ଏଡ଼ିଟର ରମେଶ ବକ୍ସି ଆଉ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟିଏ ରୁମ୍ରେ ବସୁଥିଲି। ରମେଶ ବକ୍ସି ଥିଲେ ସେ ସମୟରେ କଲିକତାରେ ଆଜିଠୁ ପ୍ରାୟ 60-70 ବର୍ଷ ତଳେ ସେ ମାନେ ଯେଉଁଟା କପି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଉଛି ସେଇଟା ଭାରତରେ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିପାରେ କଲିକତାରୁ ହିଁ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହୋଇଥିଲା। ବଙ୍ଗାଳୀମାନେ ଅନେକ କଥା କରିଥିଲେ ସେ ସମୟରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଖବରକାଗଜରେ ସେ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ, ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପତ୍ରପତ୍ରିକାରେ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ। ମିତ୍ର ପ୍ରକାଶନ ଥିଲା। ମିତ୍ର ପ୍ରକାଶନ ପରେ ପୁଣି କଲିକତାରୁ ଆଲାହାବାଦ ଚାଲି ଆସିଲା। ସେ ଆଲାହାବାଦ ଚାଲି ଆସିଲେ। ତାଙ୍କର ସହଯୋଗୀ ଥିଲେ କମଲେଶ୍ୱର। ସେ ସମୟରେ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ କାମ କଲି। ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାଷାର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ବହି ଜନ୍ ବୋଲ୍ଟନ୍ ଯେଉଁ କଥା କହିଲି, ଜନ୍ ବୋଲ୍ଟନ୍ଙ୍କ ବହିଟି ପ୍ରଥମେ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ୍ ବୁକ୍ ଟ୍ରଷ୍ଟକୁ ସମ୍ପାଦନା ପାଇଁ ଛପିବା ପାଇଁ ଆସିଥିଲେ ଓଡ଼ିଶା ସାହିତ୍ୟ ଏକାଡେମୀ ଆଗରୁ। ସେ ଆମର ଯେଉଁ ସମ୍ପାଦକ ଥିଲେ ସିଏ ବୋଧହୁଏ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସେଇଟା ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲାନି, ସେ ତାକୁ ପକେଇକି ରଖିଲେ। ଯେମିତି ଫକୀରମୋହନଙ୍କର ଆତ୍ମଜୀବନୀ ହିନ୍ଦୀରେ ଯେଉଁ ହେଇଥିଲା ତାକୁ ଶ୍ରୀନିବାସ ଉଦ୍ଗାତା କରିଥିଲେ, ତାକୁ ସେ ଧୂଳି ଖାଉଥିଲେ। ସେସବୁ ମୁଁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଭାଷାର ଓଡ଼ିଆ, ଇଂରାଜୀ, ହିନ୍ଦୀ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଭାଷାର ଯେତେକ ବହି ଅଛି ତାକୁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ବହି ମାନେ ମୁଁ ମୋର ଆଜି ମନେ ପକାଉଥିଲି ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଘରକୁ ଯିବା। ସଚ୍ଚିଦାନନ୍ଦ ରାଉତରାୟ 2 ଦିନ ତଳେ ତାଙ୍କ ଜୟନ୍ତୀ ଗଲା, ତାଙ୍କ ଘରକୁ ବାରମ୍ବାର ଯାଇଛି ତାଙ୍କ ଗପ ବହି ସବୁ ବିଷୟକୁ ଗୋଟେ ସଂକଳନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ବାମାଚରଣ ମିତ୍ରଙ୍କ ଚାଲିଗଲେଣି, ତାଙ୍କ ଘରକୁ ତାଙ୍କ ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ରହୁଥାନ୍ତି ଆଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବିହାରରେ, ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଇଛି। ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଯାଇକରି କପିରାଇଟ୍ କଥା ଯେଉଁ କହିଲେ, କପିରାଇଟ୍ ଯାହାର ଅଛି କପିରାଇଟ୍ ତାକୁ ରୟାଲ୍ଟି ମିଳିବ। ତେଣୁ ରୟାଲ୍ଟି କେମିତି ମିଳିବ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଅ, ପରମିସନ୍ ଦିଅ। ଏଇସବୁ କରୁ କରୁ ମୁଁ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ସମ୍ପାଦନା କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ଆଗେଇ ଚାଲିଲି। ତାପରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ କାମ ହେଇଛି, ତାକୁ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଆମେ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା ଭିତରେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବା। ଆମ ବନ୍ଧୁମାନେ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
ଆଲୋଚନା ଭିତରେ ଯତୀନ ବାବୁ ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ କଥା କହିଲେ ଯେ ଆମର କପି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ବିଷୟରେ ଧାରଣା କ'ଣ ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ, ଧାରଣା କ'ଣ? ମୁଁ ତ ପୁରା ଏକମତ ଯେ ପୁରା ଜିରୋ। ପବ୍ଲିସିଂ ୱାର୍ଲଡ ଭିତରେ ମୁଁ ଯାହା ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ଟ କରିଛି ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଷ୍ଟେକ୍ ହୋଲ୍ଡରଙ୍କ ସହିତ, ଓଡ଼ିଆ ବହି କଥା ତ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ନାହିଁ, କାରଣ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କୌଣସି ବହି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ହୁଏନି। ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟିଂକୁ ଯିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ କୌଣସି ବହି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ, ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ରିଡ଼ିଂ ହୁଏ। ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ରିଡ଼ିଂ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ। ଆମର 3ଟା ସ୍ତର ଅଛି, କପି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ, ଲାଇନ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ରିଡ଼ିଂ। ଯେଉଁ କପି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ଆଉ ଲାଇନ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ଭିତରେ ଯେଉଁ ଡିଭାଇଡ଼ିଂ ଲାଇନ୍ଟା ସେଇଟା ବ୍ଲର୍ଡ କରିଦେବା ଆମେ କିଛି ସମୟ ପାଇଁ, ଭାବିବା ଓନ୍ଲି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ। ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କ ମୋତେ ଗୋଟେ ନାଁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ, ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ପ୍ରଫେସନାଲ୍ କପି ଏଡ଼ିଟର୍ କିଏ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଆମ ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ? ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ କପି ଏଡ଼ିଟର କାହାର ନା ଆପଣ କହିପାରିବେ କି? ପ୍ରଫେସନାଲ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟର ଯିଏକି ବହି ଏଡ଼ିଟ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ସବୁ ବହି ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଏ, ଏମିତି କେହି ଅଛନ୍ତି କି ଆପଣ ଜାଣିପାରିବେ? ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି। ଆମର ସୂଚନା ନାହିଁ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ବହିର କିଏ ଏଡ଼ିଟର ଥିବେ। ତା ଅର୍ଥ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ବହି ଏଡ଼ିଟେଡ଼ ହେଉନାହିଁ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଉଦାହରଣ ଦେବି। ଆପଣ ଜାଣନ୍ତି ବିଶ୍ୱର ବଡ଼ ବଡ଼ ପ୍ରକାଶନ ସଂସ୍ଥାର ଅକ୍ସଫୋର୍ଡ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ପ୍ରେସ୍, ୟୁଏସ୍ର ପବ୍ଲିସର୍ସ, ସେମାନଙ୍କ ବହି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରକୁ ଆସି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ହେବା ପାଇଁ ପବ୍ଲିଶ ହୁଏ ଲଣ୍ଡନରେ, ପବ୍ଲିଶ ହୁଏ ୟୁଏସ୍ଏରେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଠୁ ଏଡ଼ିଟ୍ ହେଇକି ଯାଏ। ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି କି? ଏଠି ଜଣେ ଦକ୍ଷ ବର୍ଷିଆନ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟର ଅଛନ୍ତି, ସେ ଇଂରାଜୀରେ କାମ କରନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ଇଜ୍ ଭେରି ମଚ୍ ଇନ୍ ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ ୱାର୍ଲଡ ୱାଇଡ୍। ଏବଂ ଆମେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଜାଣିନେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ କାହିଁକି କହୁଛି ନା ପୋଟେନ୍ସିଆଲିଟି ଅଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ ଶୁଣୁନି। ହିଜ୍ ମିଷ୍ଟର ଜୀବନ ନାୟର, ଆପଣମାନେ ତାଙ୍କ ନାଁ ବି ଶୁଣି ନଥିବେ। ତାଙ୍କୁ 80 ବର୍ଷ ବୟସ। ସେ ଗୋଟେ ସମୟରେ ବିଦେଶରେ ଯାଇକି ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରହିକି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ କରୁଥିଲେ, ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ରହୁଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ସବୁ ବହି ତାଙ୍କର ଆସୁଛି ଏଠିକୁ, ଏଠୁ ଏଡ଼ିଟ୍ ହେଇକି ଯାଉଛି। ଏବଂ କିଛି କିଛି ଭାରତୀୟ ପବ୍ଲିସର ମଧ୍ୟ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ବହି ପଠାଉଛନ୍ତି। ତ ଇଜ୍ ଭେରି ହି ଚାର୍ଜେସ୍ କ୍ୱାଇଟ୍ ହାଏ, କାରଣ ଯେହେତୁ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ସମୟ କମ୍, ବୟସ ହେଇଗଲାଣି, କମ୍ କାମ କରିପାରନ୍ତି। ସୋ ପର୍ ପେଜ୍ ରେଟ୍ ସେ ଯାହା ଦିଅନ୍ତି ଆପଣ କଳ୍ପନା କରିପାରିବେ। ସୋ ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ଏଇଟା ହେଉଛି ପ୍ରଫେସନାଲିଜିମ୍, ଯେଉଁଟାକି ଇଣ୍ଟରନ୍ୟାସନାଲ୍ ପବ୍ଲିସର ମାନେ ବୁଝନ୍ତି। ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ? ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ କାର୍ଟୁନ୍ ଆମ ପତ୍ରିକାରେ 2 ମାସ ତଳେ ପ୍ରକାଶ କରିଥିଲୁ। ସେଠି ଜଣେ ପବ୍ଲିସର ଅଫିସରେ ଗୋଟେ ଅଥର ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଅଥର ବସିଛି ଯେ ସେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ ତ ଆମେ ତ ମୁହଁରେ ସଂଳାପ ଦେଇଛୁ ଅଥର ମୁହଁରେ, ସେ ପବ୍ଲିସର କହୁଛି ଆପଣ ଦୟାକରି ମୋ ବହିଟାକୁ ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟିଂ କରିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ରିଡ଼ିଂ ପାଇଁ ପଠାଇବେ, ସେଇଟା ମୁଁ ଦେଖେଇଦେବି। ମୋଠୁ ସେ କ'ଣ ଅଧିକା ଜାଣେ? ବହିଟା ମୁଁ ଲେଖିଛି, ମୋଠୁ କ'ଣ ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ରିଡ଼ର ଅଧିକା ଜାଣିଛି? ये जो एको दैट इज मे बी वन ऑफ द हर्डल्स दैट इज मे बी वन ऑफ द हर्डल्स जो अंततः किसी मात्रा प्रूफ रिडिंग होची किंतु एडिटिंग बिल्कुल हो एडिटिंग इज नॉट प्रूफ रिडिंग एट सो मेनी एस्पेक्ट्स आर देयर आप फॉर्मेटिंग को लेकर तार फैक्ट चेकिंग तार पंक्चुएशन लैंग्वेज विभिन्न जिनस अच्छी जोड़ा कि आम गुरुत्व दौना से कौन हुए जानते आम भाषार बही कथा कह आमर भाषार बही मुझे देखी गोटे बही जड़े पढ़ा आरंभ कर प्रथम पृष्ठा द्वितीय पृष्ठा को जीव जो मैंने शिक्षित माने वरासियस रीडर्स से सेकेंड पेज अटकी जाए कौन ये वाक्यटा लिखाई ये किसी न सबस्टांडार्ड वाक्य आगू पढ़ा इच्छा होनी बंद कर रखी मोर उदाहरण दूँ मु इंग्राजी भाषार छात्र इंग्राजी साहित्यर छात्र मुझे 1983 बैचर पाणीबार इंग्लीश मुझे गोटे बही लिखी मात्र 80 पेजर पदसात लाइन गोटे बही 80 पेज दिल्ली जेतला लिखी पब्लिशर कहले आगे आमको एडिटिंग करदेबू कि मुझे आप करेंगे मुझे कहीं आई शुड साटिस्फाइड एंड आई विल नॉट एडिट इट आई विल नॉट प्रूफ इट कारण मुझे लिखी मुझे करें कि कहली आई पेड 10,000 रुपीज टू ए प्रोफेशनल एडिटर्स सी खाली पढ़ला आरंभ शेष पर्यटन सजेस्ट कला जे आप यहाँ बदलातु ये पाराग्राफ बदल कंटेक्स्ट बदलातु ये कंटेक्ट विषय सजेस्ट कला एत प्रेसेस था जे से बर्तमान जो देवी जे गोटे भूल कारण गोटे भूल वाक्य बाहर सो यहाँ आवश्यक यार गुरुत्व ओडिशा रे कहीं अनुभव करूना यहाँ बड़ दुखर कथा एंड आप सब देखते जेहेतु जतिन बाबू ओडिया आलोचना आरंभ कले मुझे ओडिया साहित्य ओडिया पुस्तक मुझे इनक्लूड करुँची इंग्राजी पब्लिकेशन इनक्लूड कर आलोचना भितर जदि आम सुवर्ण जुग आसब क्वालिटेटिवली जदि आम एडिटिंग को गुरुत्व दबा और प्रूफ रिडिंग को प्रूफ रिडिंग को गोटे आमर गोटे पत्रिका बाहर मात्र 64 पृष्ठ प्रति मसरे बाहर 1 तारीख गत 45 मास बाहर सारा मात्र 68 पेजेस 68 पेज आमर प्रूफ रिडर केते जन अच्छा जानते मात्र 68 पृष्ठ मासक थर 4 जन पेड प्रूफ रिडर अच्छा पेड टॉप प्रोफेशनल्स जो मैंने खबर कागज में 30 वर्ष चाकरी करके रिटायर कर से भाई 4 जन लोक बारंबार पढ़ते जड़े पढ़ला पुणी आउ जड़े पढ़े 3rd पर्सन 4th पर्सन सो मुझे आशा करी जे समस्ते प्रूफ रिडिंग एडिटिंग उभय कॉपी एडिटिंग एंड लाइन एडिटिंग इस स्तर को जीवाक चेष्टा कर अनुरोध
Hello everyone. Coming back to the question that the madam, she asked what triggered me to take up this as a profession. I took up journalism as a profession, not really book publishing. The other 3 gentlemen here are directly related to book publishing. I am from hardcore journalism background. So the trigger came from reading habits. When I was a kid, my house was full of books, always. So regular reading habit of fiction, non-fiction, everything, and newspapers is what triggered. My father worked, when I shifted to Delhi after 10th, my father worked in the Press Information Bureau, which is PIB, it's government department. PIB, if you don't know, PIB is the Information Dissemination Division of the Government of India. All the information is passed through that. So I had access to almost on a daily basis 25 newspapers at home and all the magazines, almost 10 to 12 magazines. And trust me, I used to read all those. You may be surprised. So that reading habit of news as well as books is what triggered me to, my background is not in humanities. I'm a maths graduate. I did my post-graduation in computer applications. I joined a job in computers. Then I shifted to journalism. Obviously, there was a question like people said, this is absolute crazy behavior that you shifted to journalism. But my interest in journalism was because of my reading habits and my father's profession in it. That's all I can say. You have to be passionate about this profession. This profession is all about passion. It's not about routine profession, engineering, medical, and all. It's like theatre or music. Unless you're passionate, you cannot continue in this profession because there's a lot of insecurity. That's all I can say.
Thank you all. I'm sure the students have all heard the panelists, the respected panelists, about what made them, like Professor Jatin sir is is an academician. Manas sir is from the editorial background, and he was an MBT. And Nihar sir was in bank, and then he jumped to this particular like what was his passion, he got into that. And then we hear Dipesh sir that having done his masters in computers, and then he worked for in software companies, and then he came to this. So this is basically a kind of profession where we see more than getting a degree. It's the passion which takes you through. Now, just like in that case, do the students need any kind of training in editing, or does it come like that? Do they need training, like as an editor? Nihar sir, did you undergo any kind of training? Manas sir, did you undergo any kind of training, or it was just that you kept on doing it and slowly you acquired that skill?
My training was at home. I was trained under my father, as I told you.
This is being recorded.
Fortunately, my whole family is full of writers. So I learnt it. Some always feel that every step in your life is for training, for in the life of something on the record, something off the record, training. Life is full of learning. Learning is training. But as such, when I came to education department, I worked in various ways as a journalist, as a school teacher, as a college teacher, as an editor, sometimes as a bureaucrat also, as director of publishing of the Northeastern region. So every time I felt that you have to learn. You have to learn, and training is there. You have to be trained. But learning is one sort of training which you take every moment. That is more important.
So this is an interesting point. I would say my training in editing. After completing my PG in English literature, 1983. So my passion was towards editing and journals and all that. Of course, family wanted that I should do something else, but I looked for the earliest opportunity to go and join some media house. At that time, there was only one English newspaper, Delhi newspaper, being published from Odisha. It was a News of the World from Kota. Thereafter came Sometimes, and I was selected for Sometimes also. For some reason or other, I joined News of the World and went to Kota. And not only joined, I stayed in their office. They gave me a room and I stayed in their office for 24 hours. And fortunately, I pay my tributes now. There was a retired senior assistant editor of Amrita Bazar Patrika, D. Subramaniam from Chennai, whom Janaki Patnaik, the then Chief Minister, when he was in Eastern Times, he has inducted into Eastern Times. And he told that come and teach our people how to edit. And by the time I joined News of the World, D. Subramaniam sir, his age was 80, mind it. And he had come and joined News of the World as editor. जहाँ को ओडिया के मुझे हाथ धरी के सिखाई and at that time you are from new generation during this night I'm talking about 1984-85 there was a pen of Renault 9 inches long. It was called jumbo refill. One Renault refill was 9 inches long and computerization had not taken place. The News of the World publication has developed one code rolling process. Means it will be typed in manual typing, then it will be processed and some lead screen will be prepared. So that was the thing. Means we have to work manual. And can you believe, every day morning I have to purchase a new Renault refill. And means I have to manually write about 150 pages of material. The input came from field reporters. Those two had to be translated into English. Then there was teleprinter news has to be translated. What is the foremost My reader D. Subramanian have taught me what is the importance of a headline. To this date also, in my while editing an Odia journal, I have not forgotten its importance. Headline and subheading, these two is what moves the reader. And how many times he has corrected my lines, and he told the importance of single comma or hyphen. All those things have given me very rigorous training, and I am very grateful to him. And now the magazine I am editing, many readers, many writers put a condition before us. Sir, I am jemiti lekha pataichu semiti debe ଟିକେ ଆଉ change କରିବେନି. I disagree and return those articles. ଗୋଟେ କଥା ଯେଉଁଟା ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଅଧିକାଂଶ ପତ୍ରିକାରେ ହେଉନି, ଆମେ ମନଶଙ୍କର ଲେଖା ବହୁତ ବାହାରିଛି ଦେଖିଥିବେ, ଆମେ ପ୍ରତି 2-3 ପାରାଗ୍ରାଫ ପରେ ଗୋଟେ ସବ୍ ହେଡ଼ିଂ ଦେଉ। କାହିଁକି ରିଡର୍ସ ଆପଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆଗରୁ ପଢ଼ୁଥିବେ ମିରର ଇଲଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଟର ୱିକଲି, সেই ସମୟର ପତ୍ରିକା ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ଦେଖିବେ ସବ୍ ହେଡ଼ିଂ ୱାଜ୍ ଭେରି ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ। କାହିଁକିନା ଜଣେ ତ ହରିଡଲି ଫ୍ଲିପ୍ ଥ୍ରୁ କରୁଛି, ସେ ସବ୍ ହେଡ଼ିଂ ଦେଖି ଅଟକି ଯିବାରେ ଏ ପେଜରେ ଏ ବିଷୟରେ ଅଛି, ୟୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ରିଡ଼ିଂ, इट मेक्स रीडिंग मच इजियर। तो ये जो यार इम्पोर्टेंस एडिटिंग बहुत अच्छी, तो सेटा को गुरुत्व देवा कथा। विभिन्न आमर अनुभूति भितर, एंड आफ्टर इंटरेक्टिंग विद द रीडर्स यू कैन नो व्हाट दे वांट, एंड दिस आल्सो अप्लाइज टू बुक्स। आई थिंक
I will be very brief because ma'am asked whether training is needed in editing. I would say it is. Once upon a time, like let's say 35 to 40 years back, is it working? 35 to 40 years back, people when they joined desk jobs, and I'm not talking of reporting, I'm just talking of the editorial part. At any editing desk job in newspapers or magazines, you need to, you never needed a degree or diploma in journalism or editing or communication. But in the last 30 years, it is a must. Unless you have a diploma, or diploma and degree is nothing but training. Basically, you either go on internship or in classroom, they train you in it. And you cannot be a good editor without proper training. Like I got training in my diploma in journalism, then I got trained in my PTI. PTI has a very good training. They have a training module for all the training journalists. So training is essential, and it's a must to be a good editor, and it's always a perennial learning process.
Just add one thing. We have discussed about training. The first course in book publishing was started in Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, by Yuvarantamurthy, who spoke about Sanskar. The first course, formal course. Then Jadavpur University used to run a course in printing technology. And then in Kolkata University, before Kolkata University, National Book Trust started a course in book publishing. Then it was the same book publishing was running a PG course in book publishing in Kolkata University, those days Calcutta, and simultaneously one course was running in Indira Gandhi National Open University. Now it is going on. So there are some courses going on in which fortunately I have been a faculty in some such courses.
Thank you very much. Now again, my question goes to the case, how you have been talking about editing and digital platform versus print platform. What is the difference on digital platform or print platform?
Digital platform is merely an extension of the print platform, I would say. Now, in the new era, if you see, the digital platform has also included videos, which is an extension of the broadcast media. Earlier, digital platform, when it started, let's say 25 years back, initially, I remember, it was nothing but an extension of the print, what you see on paper, onto the computer screen. But nowadays, with the advent of social media, The digital platform encompasses all of social media, apart from the podcasts on YouTube and many other such many platforms and blogs and video blogs. So naturally, the print media's role has become very limited with the advent of video ads. That is the core difference. Apart from this, writing for digital media is not very different from what you see in print, because the editorial style, the editing, it all remains the same. But the way you write, the way you frame the paragraphs, like digital media, it will have shorter paragraphs than print media. There are some differences in approach to writing, because you are seeing one page, it should not be, the article should not be long, so that you keep scrolling. So these are some of the differences you see. Otherwise, from the training point of view, if you are a print media editor, you can easily adjust yourself to digital media. There is not much difference, I guess. Unless you are into the visual media, that's a different ballgame altogether.
Yes, sir, please.
Because this is also my favorite field since the digital publishing has come up. I faced it practically because my magazine is published parallelly in print media, and also we have a digital part. Now, I'm coming to Odia language digital publishing. The pathetic thing, because we're facing the things practically. Do you know what is the biggest platform for publishing digital books, especially e-books? It is Kindle. So you all must be knowing. And do you know Kindle doesn't recognize Odia language? You can publish a Bengali book, you can publish a Telugu book, but not Odia. It doesn't recognize Odia language, and my friends in USA and Canada are fighting with Amazon and Google for several years to introduce Odia language. There one condition they have. They are telling your language doesn't have sufficient usage over internet. Means they are surveying in emails how many mails you are sending in Odia font, how many people are writing in WhatsApp in Odia font. All these they are being aggregated, and demand for Odia language books are being surveyed. They have to invest a lot if they want to introduce it. Kindle doesn't have it. The only platform, I mean to say any global level platform for publishing Odia books is now Google Play Books, where Odia books can be published. And in our case, we are releasing one Odia ebook version of our magazine every month. Now, second thing, I commissioned one article by an author gentleman who is stationed in France and who is a scientist by profession in Odia. And I told him, please make a study of the present condition of digital publishing and how the new generation is attached to it. And he is Dr. Chittaranjan Mahapatra, and he has written one article, full-fledged article. And it's titled Internet Jugare Odia Jubopidira Sahitya. Now one thing, we are very much worried about circulation of printed books and magazines. Now printed output is not being circulated, no one reads. Young generation totally has abandoned the habit of reading printed material. Then naturally we should expect that it's alternative, that is the digital media, e-books, which can be read on the screen. This one must have been favorite of our new generation. No, not at all. Our digital versions have very minimal footfall. Means Odia is not yet habituated in reading Odia books on screen also. But I'll tell you a surprising fact. This gentleman who has surveyed for us the Odia digital publishing, he has come with a startling example, which can you imagine one novel being written and published only in digital platform? I'll give you two examples. We have two very important platforms through which a parallel line of Odia literature has been published, parallel world of Odia literature. These are called digital platforms, maybe Pratilipi and Story Mirror. Many of you must be aware of this. He has quoted one example. A young writer has written one small novella. I quoted his line. यही लेखा है बेलू प्रतिलिपिर ओडिया भाषा अछुआ प्रेम उपन्यास को एत लक्ष पाठक पढ़ी सारी जस्ट मेक ए वाइल्ड गेस केते लक्ष पाठक पढ़ी सारी गोटे उपन्यास लिखिकी गोटे मास देर काउंटिंग ना हाउ मेनी टाइम्स द स्क्रीन इज बीइंग ओपन केते पाठक पढ़ी 58 लक्ष तो 58 लक्ष कौन हुए ना थे स्क्रीन खोलीदेले आपको गोटे रीडिंग अकाउंट हुए लेटस डिस्काउंट दैट हम तो 10 रु जड़े भी पढ़ी तो 5 लक्ष 80,000 अटक पड़े सो सीटा गोटे पैरेलल वर्ल्ड जोटा इट शोज द पोटेंशियलिटी ऑफ डिजिटल पब्लिशिंग.
Thank you very much. Now I would request the students to come up with questions. You all have heard the eminent panelists out here. Mother जहाँ भी question आती कि जहाँ भी माने question होती कि किसी clarification दरकार होते हैं.
To also mention to whom you are questioning. Don't make an open-ended question. In between more they add करेंगे. Before you come with a question, I have only one addition. We have discussed about the digital books. When e-books came, we in the World Book Fair, I was in charge of that hall, so we gave them some space for exhibition of e-books. And I will tell you very frankly, in India we don't have reader of e-books. Forget about Odia. In English also, in India particularly, English and Hindi, we have readership of e-books or digital books is very less. But at the same time, they will put. Now question, ready kahar question achi? Question na hai kaun kare?
I'm expecting more questions because the session is all about career in publishing.
Career in
So
publishing.
it has to deal with your future. And I'm expecting lot of questions.
Yes. As all the student participants अछंती एमाने from the
Teachers can discuss.
हाँ like this सब students from Odia, Hindi and English. एमाने करा तो language grounding के भला.
There is no barrier. Odia, Hindi, English. Hindi में तो मैं बोल सकता हूँ.
So नहीं है. There are some 3 departments. That's what I'm informing you.
Hindi there.
तो इधर वो तो मैंने कहा कुछ ऑनर राष्ट्रीय
Are there non-Odia speakers here?
नॉन ओडिया स्पीकर बेसी नहीं मुझे दी जाना चाहिए.
But they can understand.
They are the person.
Go to my.
You take this mic and you pass it on to everyone.
ମାନସ ଆମକୁ ପଚାରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ଆମର ପିଜି ସରିଲା ପରେ ଆମେ ଯଦି ପତ୍ରିକା ପ୍ରକାଶନରେ ଯଦି ଇଚ୍ଛା
ଟିକେ ଜୋରରେ.
ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର. ମୁଁ ଏହା ପଚାରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି ଆମର ଯଦି ପିଜି ସରିଲା ପରେ ଆମେ ପତ୍ରିକା ପ୍ରକାଶନରେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହିଁବୁ ତ ଆମର କେଉଁ କେଉଁ ସବୁ ଦକ୍ଷତା ନଲେଜ ଦରକାର?
ପ୍ରଥମ ଦକ୍ଷତା ମୁଁ ତାକୁ ଦେଇଛି ଗୋଟେ ତାଲିକା ଦେଇଛି ଗୋଟେ ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମକୁ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ଦକ୍ଷତା ଦରକାର. ତେବେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଗୋଟେ ସମ୍ପାଦକର ଦରକାର ତାର ଭଲ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ସ୍କିଲ୍ ଥିବ. ମୁଁ ଦେଇଛି ଗୋଟେ ତାଲିକା ଦେଇଛି 10ଟା 10 କମାଣ୍ଡମେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଫର୍ ଆନ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟର. ତାକୁ ପଢ଼ିବ, ଭଲ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ଥିବ ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା. ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ହେଉଛି ଲିଆସନ୍ ସ୍କିଲ୍. ଯଦି କହିବ ମୁଁ ପୁରା ତାଲିକା ମୋର ପଢ଼ିଦେବି ତେବେ ତୁମ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଯଦି ଏଡ଼ିଟର ହେବାକୁ ଚାହଁ ତାହେଲେ ତୁମ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ସ୍କିଲ୍ ବହୁତ ଦରକାର. ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ କଥା ଯେଉଁ କହିଲେ, ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ପୁରା ପାରାଗ୍ରାଫ ପଢ଼ୁ ଅନେକ ଭାବନ୍ତି ଯେ କଲମ ଚଲେଇଦେଲେ ବୋଧେ ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ହେଇଯାଏ. ତା ନୁହଁ. କାଟିଦେଲେ ବି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ ନୁହଁ. କାଟିଦେବାଟା ଯଦି ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ କଥା ତାହେଲେ ତ ଦରଜୀ ଭଲ ଏଡ଼ିଟର ଆମ ଅପେକ୍ଷା, ଦରଜୀ ବାରିକ ଏମାନେ ସବୁ ଭଲ ଏଡ଼ିଟର ଆମ ଅପେକ୍ଷା. ତା ନୁହଁ. ଆମେ କାଟିବା ସହିତ ଯୋଡ଼ିବା ମୋତେ ଜାଣିଥିବା ଦରକାର. ଯୋଡ଼ିବା ଟୁ ଇମ୍ପ୍ରୁଭ୍ ଦିଲ୍ଲୀ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟିର ଭିତରେ ପବ୍ଲିସିଂ ପଢ଼ାଉଥିଲି. ମୋର ଅନେକ ଛାତ୍ର, ମୋ ଜଣେ ଛାତ୍ର ଏବେ ଫର୍ଚୁନେଟଲି ପିଜି ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟିରେ ସିଏ ପ୍ରୋ VC ହେଇଗଲେଣି. ସିଏ ସବୁବେଳେ ପଚାରନ୍ତି, ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା କହିଛି, ଏବେ ବି କହିବି, ଟୁ ଡିଲିଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ, ଟୁ ଆଡ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂ. ମୋର ଏଡ଼ିଟିଂର ସ୍କିଲ୍ଟା ଜଣାପଡ଼ିବ ଯଦି ତୁମେ ଆଡ଼୍ କରିପାରିବ. ତେଣୁ ତୁମେ ଆଡ଼୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଯେଉଁ ପ୍ରତିଭା ଦରକାର ସେଇଟା ଥିବା ଦରକାର ନୁହେଁ କି? ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତୁମେ ବହୁତ ପାଠ ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ, ମାନେ ପାଠ ପଢ଼ା ବହି ନୁହଁ, ସାହିତ୍ୟ ବହୁତ ପଢ଼ିବା ଦରକାର. ମୁଁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏବେ ବହୁ ଡିକ୍ସନାରୀ ଥେସାରସ୍ ପଢ଼ିବା ପରେ ମୋତେ ତଥାପି ଲାଗେ ଯେ ଆହୁରି ଅନେକ ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ ବାକି ଅଛି. ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ ଯେଉଁ ବାକି ଅଛି ସେଇଟା ପଢ଼ିବା ଦରକାର. ଆଉ ପଢ଼ିବା ସହିତ ତୁମେ ସବୁବେଳେ ୟୁ ବି ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ଟୁ ଲର୍ନ. ଖବରକାଗଜରେ ଆଡ଼ଭର୍ଟାଇଜମେଣ୍ଟ ପଢ଼, ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ସମୟରେ ମ୍ୟାଟ୍ରିମୋନିଆଲ ପେଜ୍ ପଢ଼ିବାକୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲି। ମୋ ଝିଅ ସହିତ ମୋତେ ହସିଲା, କହିଲା ନନା ଏ ବୟସ ତ କ'ଣ ମ୍ୟାଟ୍ରିମୋନିଆଲ ପଢ଼ୁଛ? ମୁଁ କହିଲି ମୁଁ ଦେଖୁଛି ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ କ'ଣ ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆଡ଼ଭର୍ଟାଇଜିଂର ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଦ ମୋଷ୍ଟ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟିଂ ପାର୍ଟ। ଟୁ ଲର୍ନ ଦ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ଅଫ୍ ଆଡ଼ଭର୍ଟାଇଜିଂ। ତୁମେ ସେଇଟାକୁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାରର ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜର ୟୁଜ୍ ଜାଣିଲେ you can become a good editor.
Anybody else?
हाँ. Mic, sit नहीं जो.
To show up in our field of career, we need to be really passionate about it. And if we are really passionate and still we show up every day, we go and read articles, we edit it and publish it. But how can we stay motivated entirely for to work on it every day, each day, and still stay motivated that yes, we have to show up the next day and do the same work again and again?
So your question basically has to deal with the concept of monotony. Am I right?
Yes.
You're asking me that how should I deal with monotony, doing the same work again and again. So my answer to your query is that you should ask and see around people who are doing well in other professions. Monotony is part of every profession. Every profession. You hire a cook, he does the same thing every day. You speak to a banker, you say he does the same thing every day. So you cannot fight monotony. You have to accept that it is part of life. So the moment comes when you do not actually start feeling the monotony is if you're really naturally passionate about it. Like I am 27 years old in my profession. I still read books. I can still read books for 6 hours continuously. I still read tens of news websites daily. I don't find that monotonous. Maybe my brother would find that monotonous, but because he is into a different job altogether. If you're really naturally passionate, if your natural inclination is into something, I think you will not feel monotonous. And that's where you have to decide at some point of career. Like I decided, no, I told my father, I am not meant for coding, I am not meant for computers. I am meant for something creative. So that is not something, I've never felt monotony in my profession. So you should decide what is your natural inclination. Then only you will not find monotony in your profession.
Good afternoon, sir. I'd like to ask a question from all the panelists that if you had some clients in editing, someone who is not interested in getting your opinion, they know that they think that they have a better knowledge of their book, then do you ever like to change their mind that you offer a different perspective? Do you ever try that? Are they ever convinced?
You mean the author is convinced, the original author is convinced or not?
Yes.
Then it needs to be changed.
Yes.
As an editor.
As an editor.
As an editor.
आम मीटिंग को आसा पूर्व आम जस्ट टॉकिंग इन द रूम तो ओडिया लोक मैंने बहुत सॉफ्ट एग्रेसिव नुहति एंड दिस अप्लाइज टू एडिटिंग ऑल्सो वैलिड क्वेश्चन एन एडिटर शुड नेसेसरली बी वेरी रिजिड very rigid ruthless way to say if someone doesn't agree you show up the guts to reject the writing. For example, I have been following for the last 4 years in my magazine. I am following one principle: will not allow first person singular in or any of the points. जदि आपणक कवितार मु अच्छी कि मोर अच्छी मानस सब जानते रीडर मैंने जानते यदि मु मोर आसीगला तेल आम गोटे पिला जी अच्छे आम आसिस्टाट सबएडिटर जी अच्छी ताले घर अटकई देव. सो आउट ऑफ 95 out of 100 points we find मु मोर निश्चय outright zero. So say the compromise. So editors should be uncompromising. এইটা বেଳେବେଳେ ଦୟା ଲାଗେ ଆମ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଆଟିଚ୍ୟୁଡ୍ ଅଛି ଯେ କ'ଣ ସେ ଭାବିବ ତାକୁ ଦୁଃଖ ହେବ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ ପରିତ୍ୟାଗ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ ଅଦରୱାଇଜ୍ ଇ କ୍ୟାନଟ୍ ବି ଏ ଗୁଡ୍ ଲିଡର।
ଗୋଟେ ଆଡ୍ କରିବି ଆମ ଲେଖକମାନେ ଡ୍ରାଫ୍ଟ ତିଆରି କରନ୍ତି। ମୋର ଥରେ ଆଜିଠୁ ପ୍ରାୟ 40 ବର୍ଷ ତଳେ ଡୋମିନିକ୍ ଲାପିଏରେ ଦେଖା ହେଇଥିଲା। ଡୋମିନିକ୍ ଲାପିଏରେ କିଏ କହିପାରିବେ? ହୁ ଇଜ୍ ଡୋମିନିକ୍ ଲାପିଏ? Can you tell his book, name of his book? डोमिनिक लापिएर मत कहले फ्रीडम एट मिडनाइट रो सी 13टी ड्राफ्ट कर 13टी ड्राफ्ट कला परे तांकर संदेह है जेहेतु नेहरू को विषय लिखी से इंदिरा गांधी को देते इंदिरा गांधी आउ गोटे करेक्शन कर तेणु 14टी ड्राफ्ट से बही बाहर फ्रीडम एट मिडनाइट तेणु लेखक बारंबार ड्राफ्ट करवा दरकार।
सर से आउते एबे पिला माने मास्टर्स एमाने फर्स्ट पीजी 1 पर पीजी 2 को जिवे ए ब्रेक टा तो एटा ताके बहुत डिसाइडिंग पॉइंट कि आपरे माने कोन करिवे तो मन का मन रे कोन अछि के पब्लिशिंग आउ के एडिटिंग विषय तो माने भाबी छ इंग्लिश ओडिया एंड हिंदी लैंग्वेज डिपार्टमेंट तब मैंने आई वाज टॉकिंग टू देम आज मॉर्निंग रे तब मैंने आम देखी आसिले रमा देवी रहा पर से मैंने यूजुअली टीचिंग एज ए कैरियर प्रोफेशन देखुचर ये जो एडिटिंग पब्लिशिंग एपट को भी आम जापारू ये जिनसटा आम क्लास कहले भी केबे माने रेजिस्टर हवाटा टिके मुश्किल सो डू यू हैव एनी लाइक किसी मन रे आसुची आफ्टर हियरिंग दिस पीपल कौन just it's not give your opinion about it. What opinion? Do you think this is a feasible professional career for you all? अन्य माने आज दो ही जण हेले
they should ideally enroll themselves for some PG diploma or master's degree course in journalism or media communications, so that you are properly trained to get into a job in that field. Without that, nobody would accept your CV. Your CV will be rejected. No HR will entertain your CV. So if you really intend to pursue a career in that field, I would suggest after this you should pursue like there are 1-year PG diploma courses like Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan offers 1-year PG diploma courses. There are many better. There are many others. You find out there are hundreds of universities which offer both masters. Like we have master's degrees here in Utkal also. I think
we have it here also. Journalism and mass communication.
So unless you have that, you really cannot penetrate because there is an internship where you go and work with a newspaper, and that internship gives you the proper training, and thereafter your CV will get accepted. And there are many agencies like PTI where I work. It conducts examinations, written examinations and interviews every few years to take people in bulk. So that's one opportunity you can always avail of.
तार छड़ा दुईटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑनलाइन डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन करती गोटे हूँ इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी आ गोटे हूँ सिक्किम मणिपाल यूनिवर्सिटी जो डायरेक्ट MA PG डिप्लोमा एंड MA उभय डायरेक्ट करेंगे मास्टर डिग्री करेंगे। ट्रांसलेशन ऑल्सो कैन बी ए कैरियर ऑप्शन। अनेक जानते निजे ट्रांसलेशन में बहु लोग अच्छा जो चलती बेंगल में तो बहुत लोग चलती ट्रांसलेशन कर दिल्ली में मुझे देखी नॉर्थ ईस्ट देखी ट्रांसलेशन आजिकली जेहेतु नॉलेज वर्ल्ड ट्रांसलेशन एत अधिका हो विभिन्न भाषा ओडिया इंग्राजी इंग्राजी ओडिया हिंदी ओडिया ओडिया हिंदी तेणु ट्रांसलेशन ऑल्सो इज ए गुड ऑप्शन जोटा चाहिए करें। कैप्शन राइटिंग, कंटेंट राइटिंग कैन बी ए कैरियर ऑप्शन। बहु लोग अच्छा जो मैंने कि कंटेंट राइटिंग करके चलती दिल्ली भाया सहर में, बम्बे भाया सहर में चलती। ओडिशा रे तार ऑप्शन नहीं, किंतु धीरे धीरे ऑप्शन आसूची। भुवनेश्वर गोटे स्मार्ट सिटी है, बहुत कैरियर ऑप्शन।
जैसे ही हमें ये सोचना पड़ता है कि हम एडिटिंग और पब्लिशिंग में अपना करियर बनाएं, तो हमारे सामने या तो ट्रांसलेशन दिखता है या फिर किसी किताब को अगर पब्लिश करना हो तो उसकी एडिटिंग दिखती है। तो अगर हम उससे आगे सोचना चाहें तो हमारे सामने मूलतः कोई रास्ता वैसे दिखाई नहीं देता। तो क्योंकि आप लोग यहाँ पर आज उपस्थित हैं, तो मैं जानना चाहूँगी कि आप उससे ज़्यादा और हम क्या कर सकते हैं। हमारे नज़रियों को आप थोड़ा और खोलें और हमें बताएं कि उससे आगे हम एडिटिंग और पब्लिशिंग में क्या कर सकते हैं।
देखिए, हिंदी अखबारों का एक बहुत बड़ा लीडरशिप है, अंग्रेजी से काफ़ी ज़्यादा है। ये बात आप लोगों को पता है या नहीं मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन भारत में ये एक सोच है कि लोग अंग्रेजी अखबार ज़्यादा पढ़ते हैं। लेकिन जब आप सर्कुलेशन फिगर्स देखेंगे तो वर्निकुलर न्यूज़पेपर्स, यानी जो लैंग्वेज न्यूज़पेपर्स हैं, चाहे वो तमिल हो, उड़िया हो, बांग्ला हो, हिंदी हो, मराठी हो, इनकी सर्कुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, अंग्रेज़ी से कहीं अधिक। तो आपको अगर कोई ऑल्टरनेट करियर, जैसे आप ट्रांसलेशन और इसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं, अगर इसके बाद आप कहीं अच्छी जगह से हिंदी पत्रकारिता में आप कोई डिप्लोमा या डिग्री करते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल में हिंदी UNI की हिंदी न्यूज़ एजेंसी है वार्ता, PTI की हिंदी न्यूज़ एजेंसी है भाषा, PTI भाषा, और तमाम सारे हिंदी अखबार हैं जहाँ पे हिंदी हिंदी चैनल, तो आप उसमें अपना करियर बना सकते हैं। दूसरी चीज़ है कि हिंदी प्रकाशन काफ़ी है, जहाँ पे हिंदी में MA करें जो लड़के लड़कियाँ हैं उनको वो जॉब ढूंढते हैं। अगर हिंदी आपकी वाकई अच्छी है तो आप ऐसे प्रकाशन जो है, और ये प्रकाशन अक्सर यूपी, राजस्थान और दिल्ली, इसी के इर्द गिर्द जो है, आपको हिंदी प्रकाशन जो है इधर मिलेंगे नहीं, जाहिर है, वेरी ओबियस। पटना में मिलेंगे कुछ, लखनऊ, इलाहाबाद, मेरठ में बहुत ज़्यादा है, दिल्ली में काफ़ी। जो बुक पब्लिशिंग है आप उसमें नौकरी दे सकते हैं, लेकिन उसमें नौकरी थोड़ी सी सीमित हो गई है हिंदी किताबों की। लेकिन जो पत्रकारिता वाला लाइन है वो आपके लिए काफ़ी बेहतर लाइन है, जिसमें आप आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, क्योंकि हिंदी पत्रकार काफ़ी जो है डिमांड में है। इस बात को अखबारें हैं तो जाहिर है पत्रकार तो रहेगी, सरकार तो चल ही सकता बिना पत्रकार, वो एक ऑप्शन है। और एक दूसरा ऑप्शन है, आप हर सरकारी दफ्तर में हिंदी ऑफिसर्स की पोस्ट रहती है, चाहे वो पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग हो, PSUs हो, चाहे बैंक्स हो। आपके पास ये एक ऑप्शन है कि आप एम्प्लॉयमेंट न्यूज़, रोजगार समाचार जो है, जो हर हफ्ते निकलता है सरकारी, आपको पता है इस एम्प्लॉयमेंट न्यूज़ के बारे में। तो अगर आपको सरकारी नौकरी ढूंढना है और इसी हिंदी MA के साथ, तो मैं आपसे आग्रह करूँगा कि आप रोजगार समाचार जो है नहीं, और उसको खंगालिए हर हफ्ते, बहुत आसान है, 1 घंटा बैठे हैं और खंगालिए, उसमें आपको कहीं ना कहीं जो है हिंदी ऑफिसर्स की पोस्ट मिलेगी एंड यू कम्पीट फॉर दैट्स नॉट अ बैड ऑप्शन। और हिंदी ऑफिसर्स की पोस्ट हर जगह है, मैंने तो तमाम जगह देखे हैं, मेरे पापा के ऑफिस में भी हुआ करते, तो इसलिए जो है इट्स नॉट दैट क्लोज। आई गिव यू 2 ऑप्शंस, देयर मे बी अदर ऑप्शंस आल्सो। हिंदी कॉपीराइटिंग इन एडवर्टाइजिंग, अधिकांश एडवर्टाइजमेंट हिंदी जो है, अगर आप क्रिएटिव दिमाग की हैं, आपकी क्रिएटिविटी अगर बहुत ज़्यादा है, मेरे काफ़ी दोस्त हुए, मैंने एडवर्टाइजिंग और मार्केटिंग का डिप्लोमा किया हुआ है, उस ज़माने के जो मेरे साथी काफ़ी थे, काफ़ी लोग जो है हिंदी कॉपीराइटिंग में हैं। कॉपीराइटिंग, इफ यू डोंट नो, इज अबाउट राइटिंग द कॉपी ऑफ प्रिंट एज वेल एज विजुअल एडवर्टाइजमेंट। जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट आप स्लोगन सुनते हैं और ये सब है, वो कॉपीराइटिंग एक जॉब है, और हिंदी कॉपीराइटर्स की डिमांड बहुत ज़्यादा है। वो इसलिए क्योंकि अंग्रेज़ी में जब आप एडवर्टाइजमेंट बनाते हैं तो वो एक पर्टिकुलर वर्ग को जो है वो टारगेट करता है जो अंग्रेज़ी समझते हैं, लेकिन जब आप हिंदी में उसी एडवर्टाइजमेंट को बनाते हैं तो वो उसकी जो तादाद है इतनी जनता को वो जाती है, तो आप देखेंगे अधिकांश एडवर्टाइजमेंट में हिंदी में होता है। तो और तीसरा ऑप्शन आपके पास ये है कि आप हिंदी कॉपीराइटिंग में जो है जा सकते हैं। इफ़ यू आर रियली हिंदी कॉपीराइटिंग में mastering the language is just one part. You have to be very creative in your writing style.
नहीं, उसके अलावा एक सेंट्रल ट्रांसलेशन ब्यूरो भी है। आप वेबसाइट ढूंढेंगे तो उनका पास भी कुछ जॉब्स आपके लिए असाइनमेंट, जॉब्स नहीं असाइनमेंट्स अवेलेबल है। और जितना पब्लिशर है सबका अपना अपना वेबसाइट है, चाहे राजकमल हो, चाहे जो भी प्रभात प्रकाशन हो, वो भी देखिए उनका क्या छापते हैं। पहले देखिए वो क्या छापते हैं, क्या छापना चाहते हैं, उसके लिए आप काम करिए। दे पे एंड दे ऑल्सो पब्लिश योर बुक।
I hope सबको बहुत अच्छी तरह से उत्तर मिल गया and you will look forward to these next 7 days as and try to learn whatever you can and then go ahead to implement it in your choice of career.
Srijukta Dipesh Satpathy, our coordinator, Professor Madhusmita Pati, eminent members of all language departments, dear participants, colleagues and friends. At the outset, I must thank our university administration and our Vice Chancellor, Professor Chatti Charan Rath, for their unwavering support and guidance in making this event take place. The legendary son of the soil, Professor Jatindra Kumar Naik's claim on our gratitude is manifold. The Center of Excellence is his brainchild. His hand-holding has brought us this far. We can never thank you enough, sir. We owe you a huge sense of gratitude. Srijukta Nihar Satpathy sir deserves our sincere thanks for his insightful deliberations on editing and publishing. Thank you so much, sir, for your gracious presence. We will remain indebted to you for this. We are immensely thankful to Srijukta Manas Ranjan Mahapatra sir. Sir, your thoughts on editing and translation surely will guide our interns to find gainful employment in the future. Thank you so much, sir. We thank Srijukta Dipesh Satpathy for taking his time out from his busy schedule to be with us today. Your scholarly discussion on today's topic indeed is a treasure that we will cherish forever. Please accept our heartfelt gratitude, sir. Our coordinator, Professor Madhusmita Pati ma'am, deserves our sincerest thanks. Her vision, commitment and dedication for the growth and development of the institution and all its stakeholders is commendable. We thank her for the time and energy she has devoted for this event. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would be failing in my duty if I don't mention the support and cooperation of the HODs of the 3 language departments, Dr. Manisha Mishra, Dr. Snehalata Das and Dr. Sanghamitra Bhanja ma'am. Without your cooperation and valuable inputs, this panel discussion wouldn't have been a success. Here's a word of appreciation for all the participants. You braved the ever-rising mercury to be here. I thank you all for your patient hearing and active participation. I thank all our colleagues, friends and non-teaching staff members for their kind cooperation and support. Thank you one and all.